Hello, today we're going to make the Kandinsky collage tree and it has concentric circles on it. Hi, today we are going to make a Kandinsky concentric tree collage. I don't have the image here, but we're going to make it together. It is a really fun tree because it uses concentric shapes, and concentric shapes are ones that kind of like stack inside of each other, and they create beautiful patterns. Kandinsky loved to listen to music and create art, and he loved abstract art. So abstract art meaning like it doesn't really have any real true function or meaning. It can be anything you want it to be. Some people base it on colors, like he loved to base it on music. I'm going to start with my my blue background for the sky. And if you guys just saw me do that, I just went ahead and cut some grass. Now my pencil shows on this side, so this is the side I'm going to glue down. You're going to also need to have your sliding compass with you, and it is a really cool tool to use because it helps us draw perfect circles or certain angles, so it really helps us. This is going to be our tree. Now, our black paper, I kind of draw a tree, very simple. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but there we go. I just did a very simple one. As you can tell, I didn't spend much time on it because I think trees just grow very natural and beautiful, and there's no real rhyme or reason sometimes to trees. So I cut up some big branches up top. And then my bottom's not the best looking, so what I'm going to do, the trunk of the tree, see, well, maybe that's okay. Actually, I'm going to let it be. I like it. And I'm going to put it down here. Of course, I'm going to glue on my pencil side, so my pencil marks aren't showing because I don't want to erase my pencil marks. Nope. No one likes to erase their pencil marks. So there we go. Hello, today we're going to be making the Kandinsky concentric tree collage. We're going to be building like a tree that has concentric rings, which are rings that layer over each other that are almost like parallel to each other, but they create real fun, abstract, three-dimensional, fun figure. And concentric shapes can come in squares, any shape, but it's a repetition of a shape that makes it concentric. So we have the supplies. I have my glue stick. I have my pencil. Not very sharp. Let me sharpen that. I got another one. And I have my sliding compass. This is going to help me make the best circles I possibly can and make some fun noises. There's a way to squish it down a little bit so it slides a little better because it locks into place. So this is where I put my finger in the middle. Like say if I'm going to just draw a circle right here. I'm going to try to put my pointer on there, and I can kind of see it through there very little. I'm going to stick my finger on there. I'm going to put my pencil on there. I'm just going to do one circle without any measurement. And see how now I hit my hand, right? So I just have to move my hand very gently. This is the hand I'm holding very tight. This is the one I'm very just gently pushing this around. And look, I made a perfect circle. And so if I was to measure this one, it's 1.5, and let me check my ruler. My sliding compass, I had it set to 1.5, so I made a 1.5 inch circle. So those are the tools that we're going to be using today. So I'm going to start out with my blue paper for my sky, my green paper. Now I have a half piece of paper, but you guys have a full. I'm going to, you know what? I want my grass to be a little shorter. Start by making the grass. I am going to cut that. I'm going to put glue on this side. You know why? Because I don't want to erase my pencil marks. No thanks. I don't know about you guys. When you make a mistake, do you guys like erasing? No. Oh, makes a mess. Wakala. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my black paper. And you're going to see, I tend to hold my pencil kind of like a paintbrush sometimes when I'm drawing. I'm really light. Don't press really hard. I'm just going really light, and I'm going to draw kind of a quick outline of a tree. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I'm going to give it some branches. Now those are some ugly looking branches, but that's okay. Now I might have made this too big because I want to give some space. So maybe I draw my branches just a little bit lower. Here we go. Ooh, it looks like a ghost. Yeah, so I won't be doing these. So I'm giving myself more space to put my collage up here. I'm going to cut it out. The base is looking a little funny, but that's all right. That's the cool thing about abstract art. You're basically free to do what you want to do. And it doesn't mean it has to have a rhyme or reason, but it can. So Kandinsky liked to base his art on music. So music was his inspiration. Okay. Looks like a ghost with a tiny head, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to put glue on the side that I have my pencil marks on again. I'm going to flip it over. Looks like a man with a tiny head with his arms stretched out. Okay, perfect. There we go. That way it gives me more room to put my art up here. Remember we talked about balancing our art? All right, cool. So the next thing, we're going to put this aside and we are going to start making our circles. Now we're going to make, we have orange, red, and yellow. And this is going to be fantastic. We're going to make 3 different sizes of circles. And the first one we can do is, we can do 1 inch, we can do a 1/2 inch, and we can do 1 1/4. So if I'm going to do 1 inch, I got 1 inch right here. I'm going to set my sliding compass to the 1. Now this one doesn't reach down because this is in the way, right? So I got to use this pointer. I put that, see how it points right there? Because that's where my pencil is. And these sliding compass, it's best to have a sharp pencil. I need to get that out of my sight, get my other pencil. Okay, so here we go. I have my ring ruler set to the 1 inch, and I'm going to press here with my finger, and I'm going to gently swing it around. Sometimes this takes a little bit of practice, but there's my 1 inch square. There's circle. All right, my next one I'm going to do is 1, and you can do 1 1/4 or 1 1/2. So if I'm going to do 1/2 inch, you look for the bar in the middle of the inch. So halfway through is all the way down to that right there. So it doesn't go very far. So you're going to push it all the way. That's your 1/2 inch. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Yes, you're doing 1/2 inch. So we're going to do 1/2 inch circle. So I'm going to put my finger again. And there's my 1/2 inch. An itty bitty. And then the next circle that we're going to make to put in these is going to be 1 1/4. So 1 1/4. So I go again and on my ring ruler and I look. I see my 1. Now in between my 1, I can see that there's a 1/2 between 1 and 2. Then there's a little bar like this, and inside that bar, you'll see 3 little lines. But this is my quarter. And it happens over here too. So if we're going to do 1 1/4, we're going to do 1 1/4, we need to go all the way 2 and 3. Oh, that was fail. Yucky. See, I don't like erasing. This is the line you're looking for that 1 1/4 inch. Okay? So it's going to be the 4th line after the 1. So I go up, and you'll see it on there. It's like a little block, because this is broken into 4 pieces, right? So it's a quarter. 1 1/4. So here we go. I'm going to put it down. Make sure it's not, my circle is not off my paper. And see how I missed a little spot there? So I'm going to go one more time. And so this is my 1 1/4 circle. This way that when we cut them out, we're going to overlap, put 1 and put another one inside and glue them down. That will make a concentric circle. All right, so remember that you have your inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 is over, and that's going to be your 1 1/4. Okay, I'm going to go get started, and I'm going to make a bunch of circles on this. So I'm going to, since I already have my ruler set to 1 1/4, my sliding compass, and this the first one. I make sure it doesn't fall off the page. I'm going to make one at the top of my page. I'm just going to make 2 orange big ones. And since I have my ruler set to 1 1/4 and I don't want to move it, because I'm being a slacker, no, just kidding, just being smart, that's it. And I'm going to go ahead and look at that. That makes it easy, right? So we just turn our pages and make a circle. Remember to hold down that finger, and if it moves off, it's okay. You know, it just gets off a little bit. I love a sliding compass whenever I need to make circles. It's like heaven. All right, now, since I'm going to do an inch, I'm going to move it down to an inch. Remember, right where point the pointer on the 1. I'm going to make a couple of these. Ooh, I thought I was going to fall off my paper there. And then try not to overlap your circles, so you want to make sure that you give them space so they're not touching elbows. Okay, and then my next one I'm going to do is a half, so that's all the way down. That one's easy. And I do that first circle. Little guys. And that's another thing that's really hard. Sometimes things get in the way. Like I'll put a cup or something nearby the sliding compass and it hits it. So I just have to make sure I have plenty of space to do my circles and use my sliding compass. All right. So I have 3 pieces of paper. I have 6 on each page. And I could have almost just put these together and cut them, huh? Ooh, that would have been even smarter, right? If I cut out my papers like this, and then I cut the circles. But you know what happens when I do that? I slip, and my papers move underneath my fingers, and I'll mess up. So sometimes, for me, it's easier to cut. I don't know about you guys, when it's smaller in my hand. If I cut a whole big piece of paper, it's going to be hard. All right, so then I go ahead and start cutting out my circles very slowly. You guys have smaller scissors, which will help. All right, I'm going to be back in just a second after I cut all my circles out. All right, I am back. I got all my circles cut out. There was a couple papers I did overlap. So we have 3 different sizes of circles, so you can go ahead and layer them however you like. You don't have to put them in any order if you don't want to. Like I don't have to do each one, and I could put different colors first. And I could even just make a 2-colored one. I kind of like yellow and red together, but so then next step is I'm going to go ahead and glue down. You know what? That looks better on that too, huh? Yikes. All right, so that's how I'm going to glue down my shapes, and then I'm going to, I might keep out a couple that are not fully, I might switch these two, and just make a couple that are small circles. All right, where's my glue? There's my glue. All right. Glue. See, isn't it nice using that sliding compass because it makes making the circles easier? And make sure your pencil marks aren't showing. Ew. That is hard to pick up. All right. I think I pencil showing on that one. That's okay. Next step is I'm going to grab my tree and I'm going to put my leaves down. My abstract leaves, and we can overlap them if we like this. Ooh, I think I do need more. I think I need some more big leaves. I kind of like it with the big leaves. Double red one. I think it will work. And then we just glue them down into place. They look like mini little suns. And if you need more, you can make more. I like the overlapping. I'm going to push that one out a little bit further and overlap like that. And there's our tree.